Good morning, this is Jack from Charting the Markets Crypto, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Tuesday, the 8th of July. All right, let's have a look at Bitcoin. Oh, sorry, my disclaimer. I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some what I'm doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. Right, Bitcoin has been just consolidating at the moment. I think this is likely a bullish consolidation. We've got a bull flag that's broken up with a target at a retest of the all-time high at 112k, and I'm expecting to see that in the next few days. Here is the flag. It's nice. It's broken up, and it's got the target at 112k. What happens afterwards? I don't know. That's harder to say. I don't really have anything afterwards on the Bitcoin chart. I've got quite a lot afterwards on the Solana and Ethereum charts, but I haven't really got anything on Bitcoin. Could this be the second high, third high of a nested double top? And potentially yes, but I'm not expecting it to be at the moment. But obviously, if we saw a big downturn in equities, because crypto and equities are still tied very closely together, then that might be the case. Okay, looking at Solana. Solana, nothing's changed. We are above the daily middle band, and we're below the 50 DMA. Solana's got the biggest road to travel here because it still needs to get back over the 50 DMA, and it still needs to get over the 200 DMA. Looking at the hourly chart, obviously, once we get over those, we can have a stab at getting up into this IHS neckline, which I've got currently at about the 194 area. Looking at Ethereum, Ethereum has done pretty well. We're up at 2583. That means that we're over the daily middle band at 2464, and we're over the 200 DMA at 2488, and we're over the 50 DMA at 2533. We closed over all of those yesterday. I would like to see this continue to trade above, and then that to be the support from which we go to the next higher targets. What are those higher targets? Mainly, it's about the inverse head and shoulder neckline now, because those three moving averages are the key resistance levels. Over that, it's not blue sky, but it's bluish, and we can go an awful lot higher. So I'd be looking for a test of the IHS neckline, which I've got at about the 2890 area. That would be the next obvious big target. See a break up from that, and obviously we can go an awful lot higher. We shall see. Right, on the overall picture, crypto and equities are very, very tied together. So if we see a big problem develop in equities, I'm not seeing much sign of that at the moment, but if we do see a big problem develop in equities, it's important to remember that crypto, there's no sign so far that crypto won't go down with that. Now, I'm thinking we might have a run, depending on policy, inflation, when how fast the numbers come out. I do think we've got a run potentially at a bull run going into December. That's traditionally when bull markets end and peak on crypto. And I'm thinking we might well do that this year. Does it have the legs to do that? Well, so far it's going pretty well. I'll be aiming to get a post out today talking about the net targets on the upside. And the lack of a topping setup here so far on equities. So we will see how that develops. But I'm liking the upside. I would love to see that go till December. I am wondering if that's possible with the background of policy, and I suspect, a lot of very negative things for growth that have happened this year, which are probably going to feed through in due course. But we'll take it one day at a time, and at the moment, the upside is looking pretty good and has performed very well so far. If the administration doesn't shore it up, there's no reason I can see why that might not continue. All right, anyway, I think it's a wrap. My pleasure as always. Yeah, I mean, the tariffs are just stupid, but I mean, if the tariffs aren't hugely high, but certainly there was talk about a month ago that we might go back to 10% across the board. That wouldn't be too bad. I don't think that would have a huge impact on the US economy either. It would be a very large tax increase. And I have to say, combined with, obviously, what are your really good exports in the US? Well, you've got a great education sector, which is under attack. Tourism is dropping well down. I mean, I wouldn't come. I love America, but I wouldn't come at the moment because I hate the idea that someone's going to check my phone, look all through all my social media stuff, and if I lose the immigrations and customs lottery, I might get an all expenses paid tour of hell at the courtesy of ICE, as a few people have had so far. You know, there's a lot of places, mainly everywhere you go, you don't have to consider that as a risk. So obviously tourism's dropping like a rock. So that's what you'd expect. But I mean, enough of these things. These things are important. Tourism is important for the U.S. economy. Education is important for the U.S. economy. Manufacturing is likely to be losing more jobs than it's gaining. All of this will feed through, but to a certain extent, because markets are sustained by faith, an optimistic attitude can actually get you a lot further than you would otherwise get, even if policy is completely stupid. So we will see. Anyway, I'll be giving it a lot of thought, and I'll be watching very, very carefully. Yeah, I'm surprised travel services are doing so well. Certainly, people who are tourism industries are seeing volumes very well down this year, and that's likely to continue because the fact is every visitor to the US now has to have a public social media presence, and that'll be checked out, and I will be checking it at the border, and you've got to hand over your phone. I hate the idea of just having being able to take my phone. So there's a lot of places to go where they actually want you to come. So I think they'll be doing better this year. Anyway, we will see. Still 3.5 years of Trump. It's a long time. All right, no worries, mate. And I will catch everyone tomorrow. All right, take care.